Yes, Gloria.
I think that I know in this room we have Matt Ingemanson, who's an expert on a lot of what we're talking about, and I haven't seen him raise his hand to make some comments. He's extremely well traveled on the part of the Rotary Club, and I think we have another Rotary Club member, I believe Mr. Graham, if he's still in the room. But Matt, I would love you to comment on this because I know he has the expertise, and for some reason he's not motivated to talk today.
Microphone, please. Microphone, please. We don't hear the speaker.
It's the volume, yeah. Well, it's always good to listen, you know, and I've been listening to what's been said here, and I find what you just said makes a lot of sense. I find it very encouraging that we can build anything, but of course we have to maintain it. And I tend to look at the world as intellectual resources, and that's really the key. I specialize in peacemaking. Rotary happens to be the biggest peacemaking organization in the world, and we're one of the founders of the United Nations. And one of the greatest destroyer of intellectual resources are wars. And what I found yesterday was that they were talking about economic models and how to create different economic models. And I found it very interesting to see how we could make an economic model on how the cost of war versus the profitability of peace, and to present it in numbers, and then to see the cost benefits of it. And I'm also very interested in talking to you about how you can create the economic models and the economic structure for how to implement those things and how to make these things possible, because I think the economy is very important. As far as Rotary goes, we have about 1.2 million members in around the world in 210 countries and territories. We're all friends, and we're all in fact, we were founded back in 1905, and the United Nations that was founded 40 years later was founded on the same principles of tolerance as Rotary. And we are a grassroots organization, so we can operate at the grassroots level. So let's say, for example, if you want to do a project anywhere in the world, and we are almost everywhere in the world, you can find Rotarians in those places with expertise that can then be helpful. And I have access to those people through who I am, being a past district governor here in New York and Bermuda, but also having been active in the grassroots peacemaking. So I'm known among Rotarians around the world. And somebody who doesn't know me will very quickly find out who I am. So that's of course a resource that I can bring to the table. I happen to know the leadership of Rotary International, the president, the current president, and the next president, and the general secretary. So so that's available and there. But of course, we're driven by passion. So you have to find the Rotarians with a passion to do those things. And because volunteer organizations are in the passion business, and we don't get paid for what we're doing, so we have to have a passion for doing it. But I find more and more that in business, you really need to have a passion to be successful in what you're doing. Because competition is very hard, and if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, you're probably not very competitive. So,
thank you very much. And I think next time we have a conference like this, I will personally invite you to give us a presentation on Rotary in the Lake Chat. Yes.
There was a problem with some of the water wells. Mr. Ingemanson offered to look for engineers in Chad and the very near countries, but sometimes those voices are lost. He did offer to find Rotarians in the area, and I, as a matter of fact, spoke to one of them on the phone, I forget who it was, who said he would go, but it was too last minute. So if we can work on this project in the Chad region with his organization, I believe it could be valuable, sir. And that's why we're having this conference. I took it upon myself because I know him very well and I invited him to come. I know his competence and I know the value of the Rotarians, and he's traveling all over Europe where there's a lot of expertise and sophistication, and he's a voice that's heard worldwide. Thank you.